Have you ever tried guessing at people's occupations? Take a crowd of women shoppers, for example, and select just one, like 24-year-old Patricia Petherick here. You'd have a job guessing what she does for a living, so we'll tell you. Not only is she a policewoman, but she's one of their first motorcyclists. We've called in at the Metropolitan Police Driving School at Hendon to watch the final stages of Pat's instruction in both theory and driving technique. As the enthusiasts will already have noted, the bikes used are 200cc shaft-driven machines. The control course is comprised of a series of tight turns between pylons, exercising a stern test of throttle, clutch, and brake control. First, a sergeant instructor demonstrates its intricacies. Actually, to be strictly accurate, the girls are not destined to be speed cops in the accepted sense. The aim is really to provide women police with transport in outlying stations. Just the same, woe betide any reckless drivers in those areas. 12 girls were selected for this first trial course, but if the scheme proves successful, no doubt it will be repeated. Girls like these will, of course, play a dual role, being motorcycle police some of the time, and for the rest, substituting the conventional cap for her crash helmet. In either style, we can rely on her to make a pretty fair cop. Of course, the average woman in town leads a much less colourful life. For many, the week is one long round of housework and shopping. But some women refuse to be a slave of routine. Mrs. Beryl Swain of Walthamstow in London, for example, not only holds down an office job and runs a home, but has an unlikely hobby, motorcycle racing, and she's good at it. Aided and abetted by her husband, who runs a garage and who bought her her first bike, Beryl has been competing in 50cc races against top men cyclists for the past 4 years. Now she's up in the TT class, as this meeting at Brands Hatch proved. The first aid post serves as a reminder of an accident 2 years ago when Beryl was catapulted off her bike at speed and suffered cuts and concussion. But not enough to stop battling Beryl. Just watch her form today. If you can't spot the number, watch out for the crash helmet. All that keeps her from the very top class is her weight. At an average 7.5 stone, she's a 1.5 stone underweight. Ironic that while most women are trying to reduce, Beryl's desperately trying to put on pounds. Slowly but surely, women, the weaker sex, are muscling in on man's domain. Practically no sport is sacred. Thank goodness for dear old rugby league. The Silverstone Trophy Day meeting of the British Motorcycle Racing Club. Few sports can compete for sheer thrills and excitement with motorcycle racing, whether it be in the power of 170 miles an hour 500cc machines or in the slower but spectacular new class of tiny 50cc bikes. This is a sport for men, or so you might think, but then of course these days the weaker sex muscles in on everything. This rising new star of the saddle is Barbara Bound. Barbara, one of 3 women competing on equal terms against men, is the 18-year-old daughter of TT rider Jim Bound of Watford, who built her 50cc bike. The meeting is the first time so many girls have entered, and even more are expected in future years with the growing popularity of the much cheaper and more practical 50cc machine. Ever since Boadicea tore around in her war chariot, women have been jumping on the bandwagon and having a go at anything men say is too dangerous for them. And they usually do it well. This time they took a back seat, but who knows, in a few years' time, the men had better look to their laurels.